right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Winter break fun without breaking the bank. Tonight, we're helping parents with a house full of kids this week make ends meet.
Some of the warmest air we've seen this December is here. I'll let you know when you'll need your umbrella.
First tonight, excess baggage.
It'd be very heartbreaking. I had a lot of very heartwarming presents and other important stuff in there.
Southwest Airlines' new plan to reunite frustrated holiday passengers with a mountain of unclaimed luggage. Those stories in just a moment, but first, breaking within the last half hour. A Northern Illinois judge has ruled the state's new Safety Act is unconstitutional. This means the end of cash bail likely will not happen on January 1st. Several states' attorneys and sheriffs filed a lawsuit to challenge the law. Earlier this month, Governor J.B. Pritzker signed an amended bill allowing judges to keep felony suspects who are a flight risk or a danger to the community behind bars. Again, an Illinois judge has ruled tonight the Safety Act is unconstitutional. Good evening. I'm Brent Solomon. Mike and Ann have the night off. Now to our top story. Within the past half hour, Southwest Airlines has issued yet another apology. It follows days of cancellations and frustrations. At St. Louis Lambert International Airport, more than 100 flights have been canceled today. 96% of those are with Southwest. Southwest also makes up about 43% of the delays happening at Lambert. And tonight, thousands of Southwest passengers are still searching for their bags. Our Laura Bercheski is live at Lambert for us with the new plan to get those bags back into the right hands. Laura.
Well, Brent, the sea of suitcases has gone down a little bit, but that's not because they've caught up. They actually had to move thousands of suitcases that were in the walkways to a warehouse here at the airport. Roughly 7,000 bags were moved to an airport warehouse Wednesday, but according to Southwest staff, nearly 3,000 bags remained in Terminal 2.
It was absolutely awful trying to get any information. My family was on customer service hotline for 3 hours just to find out if my bag was in Texas or in Missouri.
Jacob Knopp says he spent 5 days at the airport in Austin, Texas, trying to get home to his family in St. Louis for the holidays.
There was one time where I actually got to be on the plane, ready to go, so happy on Christmas night, but then they said that there was some sort of legal issue with flight attendants and just took us all off. And yeah, my Christmas was kind of ruined because of this.
The staff says this luggage pileup is happening for several reasons. Either the passenger made it and the luggage didn't, or the luggage made it and the passenger didn't. The latter is what happened to Christy Merrill.
So I waited in line for 7 hours on the day after Christmas to learn that my bag was flown on a cargo plane to Santa Ana and that it should be coming back soon.
Even though Knopp finally made it and found one of his bags, he's not sure where the other one is.
I hope that I can find my stuff. I have a lot of very important stuff in there, like work equipment, Christmas presents, all sorts of stuff like that.
Southwest staff say they're working as fast as they can to scan each piece of luggage and contact the owners. But to make the process go faster, they've put up a web page where you can claim your luggage and tell them what you want them to do with it, which has not been an option until now. Merrill says she hasn't been able to track her bag herself.
I have been tracking it on the phone, but you can't. There's the app and everything that you normally would track things are just like fried.
So if you're in this luggage pileup in this mountain and dealing with it, the staff says the best thing you can do right now is file the claim online. That is now an option that wasn't there before. Normally you would have to wait in a line here at the airport. So file that claim online and you can update the delivery instructions or pickup instructions, whatever you need for your bag online now. So you can do that at ksdk.com. We have a link to it in the As Seen on TV section. Reporting live from Lambert International Airport, Laura Bercheski, 5 on your side.
All right, Laura, thanks. Let's go ahead and take a live look at downtown St. Louis tonight. Temperatures are only dropping into the 50s. It's hard to believe we were only in the single digits a few days ago. Weather First meteorologist Jim Castillo is in for Scott tonight. Jim, you're tracking a warm up, but also some rain.
Yeah, look at this number here, 52 degrees, Brent, and on the 23rd, it was 8 for the high. So temperatures in the low 50s right now, and they're likely going to stay that way all night long. This is why. That south wind that brought us to 56 today, it's gusty out there. Still a wind advisory for Rolla until about midnight tonight. Some of the gusts down there have been 40, 50 miles an hour. Around Lambert, still near 30-mile-per-hour wind gust, and the next 12 hours staying in the 50s, and then we pop into the 60s tomorrow. And that is the first time this month that we've seen 60s for high temperatures. So we're warming up, but how long will that last? Yes, the rain chance does come into play as early as tomorrow evening, and I'll have much more on our weekend forecast for New Year's Eve coming up.
We're looking forward to that. Thanks, Jeff. Tonight, St. Louis police are seeking new leads in a cold case. It's been 5 years now since 3 women were found shot to death inside of a car in North City. Reba Moore, Dominique Lewis, and Shanice White were all in their mid-20s. They were inside of a home on John Avenue when 2 men broke in. The 3 ran into a car but were shot before they could get away. Tonight, their killers remain at large. Anyone with info is urged to call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. Tonight, a 19-year-old man is dead and a woman is recovering after a double shooting in Blackjack. It happened yesterday afternoon at the Kindlewood Apartments off Parker and Old Jamestown Road. New at 10, Robert Townsend talked with the victim's father, who's demanding justice tonight.
Tonight I made several phone calls and finally tracked down the father of a 19-year-old man police say was shot and killed while sitting in a car back there at this apartment complex in North St. Louis County.
Unfortunately, I got the news from his mom, and it was just really heartbreaking. It was just the worst news that I could possibly ever get in my life.
A devastated Byram Donald Sr. says no words can describe the pain he and his family are feeling right now. Donald lives in San Diego. Wednesday night, he spoke to 5 on Your Side by telephone. The dad says his youngest of 3, Byram Donald Jr., was the man police found dead in this Blackjack neighborhood. Police say when they got to the crime scene Tuesday afternoon, they also discovered a woman had been shot. Her injuries not life-threatening. Byram's dad says his son worked for DoorDash food delivery, was expecting his first child, and ecstatic about becoming a father next spring. But now the family must prepare Byram's funeral.
He was just an all-around great guy. Everybody loved Byram. The bottom line, I want justice for my son.
The hurting dad tells us his son didn't live at the apartment complex. We saw security cameras at the complex. Right now, police haven't said if they're reviewing any surveillance video as they search for Donald's killer. And if you know anything about the shooting, investigators say call St. Louis County Police or Crime Stoppers. Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
Thank you, Robert. Well, the clock is ticking for Missouri residents who haven't paid their personal property taxes. They're due on Saturday. Most people are experiencing some sticker shock. The increased value of used cars driving up those bills. 3 bills have already been pre-filed in Missouri's legislature to get rid of personal property taxes. One would phase out those annual payments.
I really think it's time to give the taxpayer a break. We expect it to take about 5 or 6 years to get rid of the personal property tax in most of the counties of the state.
Again, the tax bills are due this Saturday. If you're planning to pay in person, make sure to pay by Friday. If you think your bill is wrong, you can always appeal. A big spike overnight in gas prices. They actually jumped around 30 cents in the St. Louis area. Yesterday, many gas stations were selling a gallon of regular unleaded for $2.65. Today, many are charging $2.99. No word on what's behind the spike. Well, everyone's on winter break this week and looking for ways to get out of the house and avoid breaking the bank. Tonight, Michelle Lee is helping us make ends meet with some free or cheap family events.
Well, there's no rest for parents when kids are out of school, but finding things that are cheap and easy can also take brain power and be work. So we're helping you out with some free or cheap ideas guaranteed to burn off some of that kid energy. It is free to go to the St. Louis Science Center and Planetarium, but you can also add on paid experiences like daily shows at the Omnimax Theater or STEM classes. And then we should mention on New Year's Eve, they've even got laser light shows for the whole family for $11 a person. Michael Jackson, the Beatles, and Pink Floyd are all on the schedule. Now, the Missouri History Museum is just down the road with a fun and free history clubhouse for kids. But then also this week, there's a winter getaway program in the mornings, gallery talks, and even a hip hop night this week. And we should mention on New Year's Eve, there's arts, games, and a performance before a balloon drop at noon. How fun. And then we can't forget the Gateway Arch. If you didn't know, the museum opened in 2018, so there's a chance that even with the pandemic, you haven't had time to get out there. The museum is free and highlights the founding of our great city to the building of the Gateway Arch in 1965. And then, of course, don't forget Winterfest, which is run by the Gateway Arch Park Foundation. It reopened this week and is running through January 1st at Keener Plaza. In fact, December 30th is a free kids skate from noon to 8. Of course, there are a lot of great things happening this week, and if you want to let me know about something happening, send me an email at mli@ksdk.com.
They were Southwest strangers stuck in St. Louis. Tonight, they're carpool compadres.
I can't just leave people stranded down there.
The chance meeting at Lambert that ended their holiday travel nightmare. Reimagining playgrounds, the heart and mission of a local mother to make playgrounds across the country universally accessible.
Above average temperatures are here for a while, and several waves of rain are in the forecast.
When it comes to news, we often have to report on some of the not so good things in our city, but there's a lot of good too. Here's Mike Bush with a look back at someone making a difference right here in our community.
Every kid deserves a great place to play, and that's the mission of a local woman whose son couldn't play on most playgrounds. So as you'll learn in tonight's Making a Difference report, she started a nonprofit to get her son and other kids like him off the sidelines. At Jake's Field of Dreams in Wentzville, kids don't need the latest technology to press the play button.
The spirit of Jake comes alive when I'm here. I can almost feel his presence.
Jake's Field of Dreams was named for Jake Vollmer, who was just 19 when he died of Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
We do miss him dearly. The playground just brings back his spirit a little bit.
One more time.
The playground was built not with a hammer and nails, but with compassion and conviction.
The whole idea is to get kids with and without disabilities to play together.
Natalie Mackey is the executive director and founder of Unlimited Play, which constructs universally accessible playgrounds. The nonprofit started because Natalie was having a hard time
And then what does Ian mean?
getting playtime for her son Zachary,
No, you sound it out.
who was born with a rare nervous system disorder.
He woke up happy every single morning and he had an adventurous spirit.
In 2007, after hundreds of phone calls, handshakes, and fundraisers, she turned an empty lot in Lake St. Louis into an accessible wonderland, now known as Zachary's Playground. That was supposed to be the end of her efforts, but it was just the beginning.
I woke up to email after email from families just like mine asking me to continue, that their children deserve the chance to play and would I help them.
To date, Unlimited Play has designed and built more than 80 playgrounds all over North America. Their next project will be on the grounds of St. John's Evangelical United Church of Christ in South St. Louis.
It will be available to anybody and anywhere. It's open to anybody. It's not just for the church.
It will be called Logan's Playground, named for Logan Zielinski, who was only 12 when he died in a car accident.
Logan was so full of joy. He was funny. He was kind.
Logan will never know the kids who will play there, but they'll know him.
It'll be wonderful. I mean, it'll make him live on forever.
Natalie Natalie Mackey's goal is to make everybody feel like a somebody. And her mission continues even though she lost her beloved Zachary a little more than a year ago.
His legacy and what these playgrounds give back to families has given me even more desire to continue to provide this opportunity, to continue to build communities around the idea of inclusiveness.
Natalie Mackey and Unlimited Play.
Natalie has changed so many lives all over the country, and she's very humble about it.
Showing us all that when it comes to our kids, there should be no limitations for fun.
Are we leaving?
Natalie's passion is unmatched with anybody else when it comes to inclusion.
By the way, Jim Vollmer, Jake's dad, is now the project manager for Unlimited Play. A reminder, if you know an inspiring person or someone making a difference, let me know by email at mbush@ksdk.com.
Tonight, 3 people from Wisconsin are back home after being stuck at St. Louis Lambert International Airport on Christmas. With no prospect of available flights, Bob Mayer called his neighbor Jenny, who agreed to drive down here to pick him up. Bob then ran into Alex Tick and his wife, who were trying to get back to Milwaukee from Cancun. They've never met, but Bob and Jenny offered them a ride home.
He had seen my Packer hat and, nice Wisconsin guy, assumed I was going to Milwaukee. Found out we had a decent amount in common, so it was fun, and made a couple new friends that we didn't expect to make.
It's just the right thing to do. I can't just leave people stranded down there.
Now they're still waiting to hear from the airline about any refunds they could get and their luggage. How about that?
Wow.
I feel like you would do the same thing, Jared.
Absolutely. Help as much as you can.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I love stories like that because it shows how people come together.
Absolutely. This time of year is extremely important.
Yep, I agree with it. And so is good weather, and it looks like we may be getting that, a little warm up.
We already started today, 56, and we're in the 50s for the rest of the night. Nice. So it's amazing what a change, right? So the 23rd of December, it was 23 degrees, or 8, it was on the 23rd, it was 8. And then now 56. So there you go. 30 for that overnight low, but we're going to be in the 50s for the lows tonight. A little bit gusty. It's that south wind that brought that warmer air in here. We call it warm air advecting into the area. So we're in the 40s on the Illinois side, and most of us in the Missouri side in the low 50s right now. And here it is, the current wind gusts, all these all over the place, but we've got 30 at Rolla, 21 Chesterfield, 23 in Alton, and sustained winds near 20 in some cases. There's a warm front headed our way. Usually it will bring in a little bit of drizzle or fog. That can't be ruled out, but with that wind around the area throughout the night, that's going to be limited. So tomorrow, very cloudy and temperatures in the low 60s. It's a south wind again, 15 to 20, now gusts to 40. So a very windy day. And a chance of rain in here gets pretty good late evening into the overnight hours. So here it is, and not everywhere. I'd say west of St. Charles, not much going on, but from St. Louis eastward, a really good chance of showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. Not expecting severe weather with this, but maybe some downpours. And watch as you just see waves of rain kind of move in from St. Louis southward and eastward as we head into the daytime on Friday. So most areas to the west of us, not much. I think you're going to get more on Monday's system that comes in. So the system coming in tomorrow night into Friday, probably 1/10 of an inch, Wentzville, St. Louis, probably about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more. And then Mount Vernon, Flora, and Perryville might have 1 inch of rain with that system. We'll get more on Monday for sure. All right, so the futurecast just showing the clouds staying with us throughout the weekend, but generally dry. Might see some drizzle on Saturday, but it's not snow. It is rain because we are staying very warm. 62 for tomorrow. Some models take us higher and windy. So 49 for Friday. Some showers at times, especially south and east of St. Louis. 51 for New Year's Eve, and then overnight, about 40 by Sunday morning, 55 for New Year's Day. Very dry weather too for Sunday. 60 for Monday, rain and some thunder. And then even next week, we really just fall into the mid-40s, which is still a little bit above average.
Yeah, and I'll take it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you, Jim. Well, we've got Corey standing by now with sports.
It is the best basketball time of the year. We've got holiday high school tournaments all over town and some big evidence that Dennis Gates and Mizzou hoops are for real. Stick around for sports. Usually you have to wait until Fridays for me to bring you the best high school highlights of the week on 5 on Your Sideline. But it's holiday tournament season, so just about every night this week is going to be a smorgasbord of some of the best hoops action in town. The biggest game in town tonight was the finals of the Visitation Tournament. National powerhouse Incarnate Word against budding local powerhouse John Burroughs. That's one of the reasons why Incarnate's the best in the country. Natalie Potts with the football pass to Brooke Coffey, who finishes for the score. Burroughs was up for the challenge early, though. That's Monet Witherspoon for 3 from the corner. But the Red Knights haven't lost a game since February 2020. That's right, you heard me right, February 2020, and they would not lose tonight. Potts on the finish this time. Incarnate pulled away and won the Viz Championship 64-37 over Incarnate Word. Over John Burroughs. Quarterfinals in the Coaches vs. Cancer Tournament. DeSmet and Westminster up first. Kicking things off, the senior duff for DeSmet. That's Justin for 3. Next, it's one of the top scorers in the entire area, Westminster's Kobe Williams with a nice shot for 2 points. But DeSmet's Deshaun Henton is going to pull off a double highlight here. First, he sinks the 3 from the deep corner, and then next he'll get the steal and go all the way down to the other end for the nice finish. DeSmet wins this one 64-47. They're headed to the semifinals. Next up at Maryville was a great rivalry game. Lafayette and Eureka. Wildcats first. It's Carter Luft on the fast break, and he finishes for 2 at the rim. Then it's Cooper Williams with the finish of his own at the rim for Lafayette. Later on, Eureka's Nate Dorner is going to splash it home from the corner for 3, but it was the Lancers who got the last laugh in this big-time rivalry. Lafayette advances with a 53-47 win over Eureka. Let's go to Collinsville in the Prairie Farms Holiday Classic. Home K-Hawks hosting Oakville. Tigers had a tough task. Here's DJ McDonald with a nice take for 2 early on. But Collinsville looks great so far this year, and they were great tonight. That's Jake Wilkinson with the 3 ball from the corner. Then he's going to pull off some slick moves for a great layup as well. Jamori Weisinger is going to drive for the K-Hawks coming up here in just a second. They can get to the rim. They win big over Oakville, 71-41. Oakville to Oakville. Lady Rockets in the Mascoutah Tourney semifinals against Alton tonight. Here's a great shot from Alton's Layla Blakeney. Redbirds rolling early. But the Rockets have some firepower too. Nice dish inside for Megan Renegarby to finish it off. Then some more good ball movement from Oakville. Finds Maddie Winstroyer at the top of the key. She buries it for a long 2. But it is Alton who wins 58-53 to advance to the Mascoutah Tourney Championship game tomorrow evening. Mizzou basketball started 10-1. Okay, the schedule wasn't that great. They walloped national darling Illinois in bragging rights. Okay, but can they do it again? That question was answered with a resounding yes tonight. And this time it was ranked Kentucky on the receiving end of another Mizzou beatdown from Dennis Gates, Kobe Brown and company. Sold out Mizzou Arena was jumping for the SEC opener, and they were rewarded. Kobe Brown put up another 30-piece, his second straight, and he helped the Tigers get off to another fast start. Here's when I knew it might be a special night. That's backup point guard Sean East hitting the 3 over.
And I thought we could see a gap-free game tonight where guys were able linked one bit and they stayed connected with each other, and that's the most important thing.
I don't think even the most optimistic Mizzou fans thought this was going to happen so early, but they'll take it.
And that coach, he keeps his team grounded.
Every time we have him on here, he leaves you kind of motivated, doesn't he?
Absolutely, yep. Corey, thanks for that. Welcome. Well, still ahead, oh dear, the icy rescue at the Lake of the Ozarks. Well, you can ring in the new year with more than $500 million. No one matched all 6 numbers in last night's Mega Millions. The jackpot has now grown to $640 million. The next drawing is Friday night. This is only the 5th time the Mega Millions jackpot has topped $600 million in the game's 20-plus history. 20-plus years. Tonight, a young deer is back in the Missouri wild after being rescued from the ice-covered waters at the Lake of the Ozarks. This was near the Gravois Arm in Morgan County. Firefighters and conservation officers were able to bring the animal to safety and release him into the woods unharmed. How about that? It's
Good
stories
story.
like that that just tug at your heart, really.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Good
We
for the
appreciate-
engineer.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you for joining us tonight, and that's it for 5 on your side at 10. But the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is coming up next. You can start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 in the morning. We hope you have a great night.